Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Sarah from Who I Am Among the Pages, and if you're new here, thanks for stopping by, and if you're not, thanks for sticking around. So you'll probably notice first off, if you have watched my videos before, that both the lighting is very strange and this is not my usual background. You will get to know this chair some because this is where I film my reading vlogs that you all will be seeing before too long. And I decided, since this is a not straight up book video, that I would do somewhere a little more casual. And I would sit in the chair, but it's super creaky and I know I'm going to be shifting around, so I don't want that to be the whole video. But nonetheless, I am going to do the Booktube Newbies Tag, and I am going to be looking down a good bit because I did write the tag questions in this gorgeous journal that my boyfriend gave me for our anniversary. So yeah, I'm not sure who created this tag. If I can Google and find out, then I will happily link their channel, acknowledge them in the description, but I'm not really sure who created it, so I'm sorry about that. So this tag consists of 10 questions that basically just cover why you're on YouTube. So, oh, the other thing I want to acknowledge, I will be looking exactly like this in at least one more video because I have filmed today, so I'm sorry. Moving on though. So question 1, why did you start this channel? So the first video on this channel actually is like a get to know you video, something like that. And I believe I said something very distinct like that in that video, but that's been over a year ago. I believe I started my channel in July of 2019. It is now November of 2020. So yeah, it's been a while. Which is actually the last day. When you're seeing this, it's the last day of November. But yeah, it's been a while, and I think things have definitely changed. So I'm talking at least now about why I came back to BookTube and really put a lot of effort into it. I'm trying to learn to put a lot of effort into it. But I have watched BookTube since I was about 14 years old. I loved reading as a kid, and in middle school, like, I just got kind of jacked up. I read a lot of fan fiction online, and I wrote a lot of my own fan fiction, but honestly, books kind of fell by the wayside for me in middle school. I read the Divergent trilogy in middle school. I read the Hunger Games and a couple other things that I remember, but honestly, other than that, I wasn't interested in trying any new books. I was stuck in a rut. And I was a freshman in high school and found BookTube. I found Sasha Alsberg here at a Book Utopia, and I was just blown away that there was a whole community around all these YA books that everybody loved that I didn't know about. So I wanted to start this channel because I wanted to be part of the community. It's really always seemed like, yeah, there's problems, there's been some drama, but it seems like it's always been a fairly nice community to be a part of. And even as an English major, you know, I have classes with other English majors, and I have never really made a whole lot of friends. So I just wanted to try to get to know some people, get in touch, be part of that community at least, on the internet, because at least in the real world, man, I'm striking out. And I enjoy watching BookTube videos. I just wanted to contribute and make videos for other people to watch. So that answers question number 1 at 3 minutes. So question number 2, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? So, oh crap, I just lost the page. I wouldn't say this is necessarily unique because I just know of at least one other booktuber that has majored in English, but of course I did major in English. I am majoring in English. I'm a dual major in English education and creative writing, in case you didn't know. So I thought it'd be interesting because I have an education specifically in books and English and writing, to be able to come on here and talk about very popular books that I read for fun rather than the ones I read for classes, and bring that I don't want to say educated aspect, but bring my background and my education to YouTube to talk about very popular books. And also, you know, I'm one of the few booktubers that's not a very fast reader, and I will admit that. I'm getting better. But, you know, I'm not super pretty. I'm nothing special. Like, I thought it'd be fun to just, you know, put myself out there. So I think that the unique part is really just my education and being kind of awkward and kind of an idiot and putting myself on Booktube. It might be fun for somebody to watch. So number 3, what are you most excited for about this new channel? So my channel isn't exactly new. It's been around for over a year now, about a year and a half. But at least talking about when I really came back to Booktube this summer, since then, even though, you know, I took a break while I was down at school. What was the question? What am I most excited for? Yeah, I'm really excited to get to know people. Again, I've watched Booktube for years, and I've always been fascinated. My earring is turned around. How bad is that? Oh no, I can't get back. I might have to stay like that. But I've been watching Booktube for years, and I've loved the people in the community that was around Booktube. So I'm really excited to hopefully get involved with some other booktubers and to just get to know other people that really, really love to read the same things I do, or at least similar things, or just love to read in general. Because surprisingly, being an English major, a lot of people don't actually read that much. You read what you have to read for class, but they aren't planning on using their English degree in an English-related field, so they're not real devoted to books. So yeah, I'm really excited to make bookish friends, if that makes sense. So we're on number 4. Why do you love reading? So the main reason I love reading is I love the escapism. I love the fact that I can pick up a book and I'm walking in someone else's shoes. I am totally, when I read, I get really enveloped in the world and the story. And, you know, for 10, 15 minutes, an hour, 2 hours that I'm reading, then I'm in another world. My problems are far away, and you know, it makes it easier to deal with things. I think, you know, especially during this pandemic, we really can't go anywhere. Even going outside, really, if there's other people around, it's not a good idea. And even though I've had COVID, I've gotten over it. I'm still extremely cautious because I know there's a lot of people that can't say the same. So for me, the escapism is a huge part, and you know, it's art too, and you know, I draw and I paint, so I do a little bit of visual art, and I do write like a lot. That's one of my majors. So I really enjoy seeing other people's art and, you know, hearing other people's stories that they have to tell, because, you know, no two minds, I think, can come up with the same story unless you read somebody's and then like copy it. But I'm talking about original works, because, you know, I never could have come up with Throne of Glass. I never could have come up with The Great Gatsby. I mean, come on, like, those are legendary. Sorry about that little pause. I had a message come through that I had to respond to. But anyway, I wouldn't say necessarily the Throne of Glass is legendary, but it is very well known. A lot of people love it. Yes, for the escapism, for seeing the art. I frankly, books are awesome. Like, I don't know, like, physical books themselves, I really enjoy having around. And, you know, there's really no point in having books if you're not going to read them. So yeah, maybe that's kind of rambling, but I love reading mostly for the escapism, honestly. I love getting involved in other lives and just being able to kind of walk away from everything for a little while. Number 5 is, what book or series got you into reading? So initially, as a little kid, like for the first time learning to read, it would have been the Magic Tree House books by, I think it was Mary Pope Osborne. You know, in kindergarten and first grade, you have your little readers, or at least where I went to school, we had like little short readers that didn't really tell a story. It was like the cat sat on a hat. The hat was sitting, like things like that. But then second grade, I was really, I moved forward kind of quickly. I don't mean to brag, but I moved forward kind of quickly and was above the average reading level, so I was moving up through books really quickly. And in second grade was when I really, really got involved with the Magic Tree House series, which follows a brother and sister, and it was Jack and Annie, I believe, who have this, literally, it's a magic tree house that, depending on the books available in the tree house, they can go wherever they want. So one of the ones I really remember was like Civil War on Sunday. That was one of my favorites. Like, that sparked my love of Civil War history. And then there was like Dinosaurs at Dawn, I think was the first one. And my favorite was Christmas in Camelot. I'm looking at it right now. I did keep that one. So yeah, that's really the first time that I fell in love with reading. And shortly after those, I discovered the Nancy Drew books. My mom actually, I think I really got my love of reading and like thinking it was cool from her, because she devours books. So did my grandmother, her mother. But she read the Nancy Drews like there was no tomorrow as a kid. So she was, as soon as I was able to read them, she was like chucking them at me like, kid, you gotta read this. So I did, and I loved them. And I distinctly remember The Hidden Staircase, the second Nancy Drew, reading that in one day when I was in the second grade, and I remember them being at a fifth grade reading level. And reading the whole Hidden Staircase in one day. It was snowing, we were off of school, and being just blown away by the mystery. And I loved Nancy and her friends. I believe their names are Bess and George. It's been a long time since I've read them now, but honestly, like, I could pick one up and read it now. I love those books. So fourth grade, I think it was second grade, I read the first Harry Potter book, and then there was a couple years between until I read the rest of the series. I was like fourth grade when I read the rest of the series, and fell in love with those. And Percy Jackson I remember falling in love with in fourth grade, and fifth grade, all those carried over. Sixth grade, I found the Hunger Games. Seventh and eighth grade is a blur, and I honestly don't remember reading much of anything. I think eighth grade was the Divergent trilogy, and I think I found Mortal Instruments somewhere around there, like City Bones, the first one. But it kind of faded out for me until I got to high school and started watching Booktube. And actually, I found Sasha Alsberg's A Book Utopia's video on why did it slip my mind? Throne of Glass. And I was like, wow, that sounds really cool. And I don't remember why, but my mom's like, if you want a book, I'll go get you one. And so I went to the bookstore, and they had Throne of Glass, and I picked that up, and I read it in like 2 days. And I was hooked. And I really didn't stop reading. I've been constantly involved with Booktube and just the YA world in general since then. So there's like 2 awakenings for me. Like when I learned to read, and then when I got back into it in high school, early high school. So, number 6. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Oh God. Well, first of all, how do you edit? Because I'm so bad at editing. Like, I'm just not a technology-oriented person, and I really struggle. Like, I'm starting to learn a little bit, but oh my God, am I horrible at it. So how do you edit, first off? Second off, I'd love to talk to Sasha Alsberg. She is my favorite booktuber of all time. And I would just love to pick her brain about writing and the books that she's read, and all of them in general. How do you read so quickly? Like, I know a lot of them have been college students in the past, or are still college students. So how do you find the time? Like, what do you do? How did you get to the point where you could read so quickly? Other than just like screaming, I love you. Like, other than that, those are the things I'd probably ask. So number 7, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be hardest to overcome? I stutter a lot when I talk. I really tried to get over it and be better at filming YouTube videos. Because I am going to be an English teacher, so I do need to move past that period. But I say or a lot. I hedge my speech a ton, and generally I trip over words, and I'm just not very well spoken. See? I am a really quiet person in the real world, so I think it has something to do with that. But I'm hoping to, at least Booktube can help me be more clearly spoken than I naturally am. So, I think that'll be honestly the hardest. And like, I'm really shy and self-conscious about showing my face. TMI, but I'm not really confident with the way I look. So that's a challenge, to put my face on camera every day. So that's kind of being a little too open, I think, but whatever. When did you start reading? Well, I think I already kind of answered that when I was talking about, like what books started me reading. I started being able to read around the same age, kindergarten, but I really picked up reading and loved it in second grade, and then again in high school, and I really just never stopped. It was like second grade to, sixth grade, and then my freshman year of high school until now. So there was a little gap where I didn't read a whole lot, but really it was like 2 different eras, basically. Um, where do you read? So now that I'm home at my parents' house, honestly, I curl up in this chair with this Afghan that my mom made. Well, my mom and my grandma made it. So what's kind of neat, I'll show you guys real quick. So I don't know if anybody knows anything about crocheting, but it's a crocheted Afghan. And these stitches that are really like loose and open were my grandmother's, and then she passed away before she could finish the Afghan. So then up here, you see the stitches are a lot more tight and just look more knit, basically. And those are the ones my mom did to finish the Afghan. And I think it's really special to curl up with the Afghan made by the 2 people that like really were responsible for my love of books. And it's a very warm, soft Afghan. I love the yarn it's made out of. So that's where I read a lot. Here and at school, really anywhere. I do have a full-size bed in my bedroom at school. And you know, the same bed will be in my townhouse that I'm moving into soon. So that's a lot of it. I do like stretch out across there, and I have this really lovely couch in my living room at school that does belong to me, so it will be going to my new place. It's very cushy, very plush. So I like to curl up at the end of that under a lamp, and the lamp came from my grandfather's furniture store he owned in the 80s. So I think that's really neat. As again, it's, you know, part of my family. The last question, number 10. What kind of books do you like to read? That's a lot. So I generally still gravitate mostly towards YA fiction. I do read adult fiction. There is adult fiction I love very much. But I do, in general, it's YA fiction. I do like adult mysteries and psychological thrillers, but otherwise I tend to stick to YA, and it's mostly either fantasy, a little bit of contemporary, or historical fiction. So that's mostly what I gravitate towards. Basically anything but like hardcore sci-fi. I don't do nonfiction. But yeah, and the Outlander books are some of my favorite of all time, and they're adult. So really, it sincerely depends on the book. Like, I read pretty much a little bit of everything. I haven't delved much into like adult romance because that's not really for me. But there are books in that genre that I have read and loved. So it really just depends. Like, that, there's not a straight answer, and I know that's like not really answering the question, but I'm sorry, that's the way it is. So that wraps up the 10 questions in the Booktube Newbies Tag, and yeah, this was fun to do. I'll probably do more tag videos. Yeah, but like I said, you'll see this video on the last day of November, and after that we are starting Bookmas. I explained that a little bit more in my video that you will see on December 1st, but yeah, I'm really excited for this. I'm really enjoying getting back to Booktube, and I am trying so hard to learn to do makeup because I really want to look presentable and professional. Well, maybe not professional. Like, if I was professional, I wouldn't be sitting on the floor in my sweatshirt filming. But yeah, the internet's forever. I do want to try to look a little bit more put together than I do sometimes. Yeah, that pretty much wraps up this video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you decide to stick around, but if you don't, that's okay. Yeah, any comments, concerns, questions, don't hesitate to leave them down below in the comment section, and my Goodreads and Wattpad are always linked, usually always linked, I do forget, in the description box down below. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Peace!